Welcome to New Hampshire's Business. I'm Fred Koch. New Hampshire has a solid waste disposal problem. The state legislature created a working group to deal with it. And the questions are, should the sites be expanded? Are there options to look at? And one of my guests says the state plan to deal with it has not been updated since 2003. Not enough staff to do it at the Department of Environmental Services. Here is a list of New Hampshire solid waste disposal sites. 350 were closed and local sites. And the active sites are 3 commercial sites at Bethlehem, Rochester, Androscoggin Valley, the 3 municipal sites at Nashua, Lebanon, Mount Washington Valley, and 3 recycling sites, Bow, Boscawen, and Epping. My 3 guests who are back to continue their briefing from our 640 edition of New Hampshire's Business, State Representative Karen Ebel of New London, a current member of the New Hampshire House Committee on Public Works and Highways and chair of the New Hampshire Solid Waste Working Group. Welcome, Karen. Mark Morgan, manager of the City of Lebanon Solid Waste Facility and a member of the New Hampshire Solid Waste Working Group. Mark. And Joe Fusco, Vice President of Casella Waste Systems, based in Rutland, Vermont, providing solid waste disposal for commercial, industrial, and municipal customers in the Northeast and many in New Hampshire. Now, in the earlier segment of New Hampshire's Business, we focused on the solid waste disposal problem in New Hampshire. Now we're going to look at some solutions. Representative Ebel, you chair that solid waste working group. What kind of solutions to waste site disposal are you looking at?
Well, first of all, we're looking at various categories of waste. And, like anything, you look for the lower hanging fruit. So one of the things that we want to look at is how we handle food waste in the state of New Hampshire. Something like 20 to 25% of the weight that goes into landfills is from food waste. So a very interesting topic, and a topic we're going to delve deeply into, is composting. The other issue I'm sure we're going to be looking at is C&D, construction, demolition debris, and how that's handled. And I just need to say, Fred, as a general matter, I think we need to discuss the concept of New Hampshire capacity for our waste versus the capacity regionally, because we have approximately 50% of our waste going into our landfills is from out of state. So while there may be a regional capacity problem, as for New Hampshire's waste, we're going to have to look a little bit more closely at that.
Mark Morgan, City of Lebanon Solid Waste Facility. Looking ahead at the growing trash disposals at your facility, Mark, what solutions need to be in place for you?
I think there's 2, and Joe mentioned earlier that disposal has to be part of the solution. There's always going to be a need for waste disposal. I think going forward, we need to look at some of the emerging technologies that we're seeing around the world as far as waste conversion technologies, the conversion of waste into syngas, and things of that nature. That said, we also need to be looking at the other side. And I think corporate America is showing us the opportunities that exist. There's a company here in Lebanon, Hypotherm, that has done made great strides working with Casella in identifying and reducing their waste that requires landfilling. So I think from both sides, there are many solutions available.
Joe Fusco, Casella Waste Systems, you haul the waste. What do you want to see happen with disposal sites?
I think the solution here really has to be holistic and integrated. It's not enough to simply recycle more. It's not enough to simply ban out-of-state waste. You have to take an integrated approach. So you're going to need disposal capacity. But one of the great opportunities for New Hampshire is it does not have enough recycling capacity. So, for example, we have proposed developing some disposal capacity in Dalton, but in parallel to that, we have proposed developing some recycling capacity down in the center part of the state. So you got to put all these solutions together. You do have to recycle more, you do have to reduce and look at things like food waste, but in the end, you're going to need disposal capacity in a big way in the next 10 years.
And I hasten to add, you've got some opposition up in Dalton, which is very visible, and we'll get to that in another segment. I'm going to invite them to come on and talk. I want to thank Karen Ebel, who is the chair of the New Hampshire Solid Waste Working Group, Mark Morgan, who is manager of the City of Lebanon's Solid Waste Facility, and Joe Fusco, Vice President of Casella Waste Systems. Thanks so much. And if you missed part of this interview, you can go to WMUR.com, this segment and the one at 6:40. Go to WMUR.com where it'll be posted later today and all next week.